Ahoy, mateys! And welcome to another episode of Talk with Tani. I, of course, am Tani Nolenberger, your favorite wedding planner. And if you're new to the channel, I bring you videos every Tuesday. We talk about wedding stuff on the show. We also bring in the industry's top event personalities and event vendors. We have a ridiculously good time. But today I'm going to tell you about how to plan a wedding on Catalina Island. Okay, first and foremost, I'm going to take a moment just to brag about my husband, and bear with me. It ties into Catalina, and you're going to want to hear this story. So, a year ago, my now sweet husband actually planned a rolling surprise wedding for me on Catalina Island. Yes, I, Tani Nolenberger, wedding planner, did not plan my wedding, nor did I have any say of where it was going to be, who was going to be there, what vendors are going to be involved. Nada, zip, nothing. Now, what bride could calmly say they could let their husbands plan their entire wedding without them having anything to do with it? Not very many, which is why I married the man, and he is so sweet. But, okay, short story. We were originally planning our wedding for, April of 2020, and I was about to go wedding dress shopping with my mom, and let's just say I wasn't feeling so hot. Well, surprise, we were pregnant and having a baby. So as you can imagine, in the middle of wedding planning, me being in my first trimester, talk about hormones, I was losing it, and I was having a really hard time kind of keeping focus with everything. So, my husband said, he looks me dead in the eye, I remember, and he's like, babe, you just find a white dress and show up. I'm going to plan our wedding. Like, can you imagine the fear and relief in my eyes all at the same time? Yeah, so I was like, okay, let's do it. So I did. I let him plan everything. And I mean, let's be real. I dropped clues along the way. So, I was like, hey babe, if I happen to have a wedding bouquet, this is how I want my bouquet to look like. If I am getting hair and makeup done, I kind of like this style. Here's a wedding playlist in case you need the song I want to walk down the aisle to, like little things like that. But I literally let him do everything. That Friday before our wedding, he was driving us and got off the one PCH to Dana Point. And as soon as he did that, I immediately knew we were going to Catalina Island. But again, I didn't know who was going to be there and kind of what the weekend plans were. So that Friday we had a rehearsal dinner party, and I walk in the door of this restaurant and 40 of our closest friends and family are there, just like clapping and cheering us on, and I'm just like bawling my eyes out because my best friends from Oregon, from LA, from Arizona, and family from all over the place came out for our wedding weekend, and it was so sweet. I had no idea. So it was such an amazing surprise. And the cool thing was, because he was keeping this wedding secret from me, I had a little secret of my own, and I was keeping the gender of our baby a secret from him. And so that night, again, I didn't know who was going to be there. I planned to have a gender reveal party, and I did. So, our closest friends and family were there for our gender reveal and our wedding, and it was honestly the most ridiculously good time I've ever had. So it was really, really sweet. That's my little backstory about Catalina Island. So I'm going to dive in and let you know how to plan the perfect destination wedding on Catalina Island. So number one, as with anytime you're wedding planning at venues or a place, is to pick several dates. Especially on an island, I would check their events and tourism calendar, because they do have a ton of things going on the island, like hello Catalina wine mixer. And because it is such a small island, having those events on there could certainly affect the accommodations on the island. So if you have a big group that is kind of staying at a hotel together, make sure you check your dates with what's going on their event calendar, so you could plan accordingly to staying on the island with your guests. Number 2 is decide what part of the island that you want to get married on. So there are 2 parts of the island. There is the town of Avalon. So it's kind of where the host, the bigger, more bustling town, if you will. It has the main pier, the main harbor there, what's called the casino. It's not an actual gambling casino, but it's like more of the, lots more restaurants going on in Avalon. And then there is the other side of the island called Twin Harbors. So it is facing west, and it's more of the rustic and rural side of the island. So there's, less restaurants there, more kind of like lodging places to stay, or certain villas for groups, not very many hotels, if any at all. So again, decide kind of what you want your wedding weekend to be. The side of Twin Harbors has a ton of camping, so if you kind of envision this like rustic outdoor like wedding scene, it's the coolest place to be. But if you want something with kind of a little more action, then Avalon is going to be the place for you. Number 3, we kind of touch base on this, but find a place to stay. Again, Catalina is a small island, you guys. You are literally getting around on golf carts or smaller taxis or bicycles, or you're just walking around. So as you can imagine, places get booked up very quickly. So you want to make sure that you look into that ahead of time. Number 4, hitch a ride on a ferry. So Catalina is about roughly an hour off the coast of California from the mainland, and there are 4 different harbors that you could catch a ferry out to Catalina. They're going to be Dana Point, Newport Beach, Long Beach, and San Pedro. So if you have guests coming from out of town, you want to make sure that they are coordinating the closest harbor to catch a ferry out of with the airport that they're flying into. So it's a convenient, Uber or taxi right away. You can certainly take a private helicopter out to Catalina, a private plane, or a private boat. And my friends, if you have any friends or know anyone that has any of those private vessels, make sure to call me. Let's be friends. Let me help you plan your wedding or event. Okay, number 5 seems pretty obvious, but bring your marriage license. I can't stress this enough. If you don't have your marriage license and you're out in the middle of on an island, you guys, it's not going to be fun. It's going to be harder to get that, of course. So make sure you plan ahead and bring your marriage license. Again, if you need help getting your marriage license, please check with your local county clerk's office in order to get that and bring it on the island with you. Okay, number 6 is do your shopping ahead of time. There are a ton of fun and cute little souvenir shops on the island. You're not really gonna find clothing stores that are well suited. See what I did there? For certain wedding items like shoes or rehearsal dress or things like that. Now, if you are trying to plan to have a Tommy Bahama island theme for your wedding, then by all means, honey, shop on the island. That's going to be the best place to probably get those things. But if you want something that's a little more kind of, fit for a wedding, again, plan ahead of time and shop beforehand. Number 7, book your photographer. We've talked about this before. If you need help finding the perfect wedding photographer, please refer back to episode 1 of the show. You definitely want to make sure that you ask about their travel fees, because again, it's an island. They're probably going to have to take the entire day plus to get out there. So make sure you book your photographer and talk to them ahead of time about the hours that you want them there, etc. Number 8 is have an officiant. There are a ton of great resources on the island for officiants there. But again, make sure that's something you do plan ahead of time. So you either bring one with you. My now brother-in-law married us. If you want to have a best friend or a close family member get ordained for your wedding, that's totally cool and appropriate and so meaningful. So that is always an option. But again, make sure that you have that booked to actually get you guys married. Okay, number 9 is actually the food I want to talk about. Again, small island. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you guys make dinner reservations if you are doing like a rehearsal dinner, or of course, say if you're just eloping on the island and you just have a close group of 10 people that want to go out to dinner after, if you don't have it, say, at a venue. Make sure you book your reservations ahead of time. There's not going to be like fast food on the island. You're not going to find McDonald's. Things aren't going to be open late night after drinking at the bars. So you want to make sure that everyone has a full belly when they go to bed at night. We had our rehearsal dinner at a place called the Lobster Trap. I highly recommend, great seafood. And again, we had 40 people there. Super casual. It was very, very fun. And let me tell you that no trip, guys, no trip to Catalina is complete without going to Luau Larry's. It is a fun kind of tropical bar where indeed you could get your wiki whacked. Number 10 is kind of a little more all-inclusive, and it's booking the rest of your vendors. So say if you want, a florist, a DJ, hair and makeup done, there are limited space on the island to do that. So you could always bring those vendors, over with you. But again, I think there was like one flower shop. I couldn't even find the website for it. Again, I didn't book any of this for our wedding. My girlfriends found a cute little salon, and a girl named Melissa did my hair and makeup. So again, if you're looking for more of a customized wedding with things like linens and plates and glassware and things like that, you might have to bring it over yourself. Otherwise, a lot of the venues are kind of going to come as is. They're going to have whatever tables and chairs that they have in store, in their inventory, and they may not be as personalized as you would like. But again, you are getting married on an island off the coast of California in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's so beautiful there. The sunsets are epic, and you could really have a simple wedding celebration there. It doesn't have to have all the fluff, and that's what I love so much about Catalina Island, is that it could be as simple as you want it to be, or you could beef it up as well. But that's just kind of another tip. Again, any more vendors that you're bringing on the island, again, they have to catch a ferry and have to move all the inventory and things like that. So sometimes less is more on a case with a destination place like Catalina. So that's it, you guys. Those are my top 10 tips of planning your destination wedding on Catalina Island. I had a ridiculously good time sharing my wedding story with you guys today. Make sure you also check out our wedding video. Get out your tissue box. It is near and dear to my heart, and it is so sweet and endearing. That's a whole nother subject, but I highly suggest getting a wedding video for your wedding. You guys, don't skip on that, because you're going to look back and it's going to be amazing, and you're going to relive that day over and over and over again. Now, if you like this video, do us a favor, please share with a friend. Our business is based on referrals, and we'd love to connect with someone new. As always, stay creative and be legendary.